Alex here with another video on high conflict child custody. This video is going to be on proposed orders. I did cover these, and I think I covered them pretty emphatically in my video on hearings, but I just want to bring it up again because I find myself constantly telling people to be careful about proposed orders because of the experiences that I've had and the ability of attorneys to exploit this part of the process of going to court and having a hearing. So I really want to underline this issue again in a dedicated video just on proposed orders. People need to understand if you're both unrepresented, usually the judge will enter the order. If you both have attorneys, usually the judge will order the attorney, the winning side usually, or the side that brought the motion, to write the proposed order, and your attorney, the other attorney, will review it. And I'm pretty certain that attorneys don't really play games at this stage if there's two attorneys. I mean, it's going to cause issues. It's a rules of professional conduct violation just to exploit the process of proposed orders, just because it's sensitive. I mean, the purpose of a proposed order is for the judge to lighten his workload by having the attorneys put together the order that the judge is ultimately going to sign. And I just want to state here that the proposed order process is not an area where you can continue to argue your case. All it really comes down to is this is what the judge stated at the hearing, and the attorneys are agreeing to what the judge stated, and they're putting that into the order. As I mentioned, they can't continue their arguments. They can't continue to say, well, I don't agree with this. That's not the purpose of a proposed order. So I, however, didn't have an attorney through most of my case, and my ex did have an attorney, and what the judge would do is order her to prepare the order even when I won. And frequently, my ex's attorney would insert language into the proposed order that had nothing to do with the hearing, that the judge made no remarks about. In fact, I'm going to give you one example of the biggest exploit, which was really early on in my case. I can't remember what hearing it was specifically, but what I do remember is this. The attorney put language into the proposed order that stated that if parties can agree on an issue, and I can't even recall what the issue was now, but if parties can agree on this issue, then father agrees to mother having primary physical custody. And I was like, what? I never said that, and the judge didn't say that either. And so I looked up online, I looked up at the court rules, and I found out a way that you can challenge the proposed order. And I filed something called an objection to proposed order, and I stated that this language here was never discussed. The judge never stated this. I never agreed to this. And the judge actually, he looked at my objection. I'm sure that he actually didn't look at it. I'm sure it was just a clerk. He looked at my objection and ignored it, and he actually took the language that she inserted into the order. Now, I got lucky because later on, when the hearing came up and the attorney tried to use that against me, the judge said that he never stated that, and he ignored his own order. This is something that's really unusual. I don't understand this, because if you have a process in place, you should respect the process. But he basically ignored my objection, took her language, signed the order, and then ignored his own order later on. I think it's just that they just don't take non-represented parties seriously. They just don't read your stuff. They just, early on at least, I felt like my stuff wasn't being read until I started winning appeals. And I felt at that point it became very clear to me that my papers were being read carefully. But in the beginning, I just don't think they were reading my papers. So anyway, I want to just stress this for anyone. If you go to a hearing and you're unrepresented and your ex has an attorney, it is possible that the judge will order your ex's attorney to prepare the order. And you need to scrutinize that order, because if you're unrepresented, there's a chance that an unscrupulous attorney is going to insert language into that order or omit language from that order. You may win on a certain issue and the attorney just doesn't put the language in the order. And then later on, you can't come back to court and try to hold your ex in contempt for it, because it has to be in the written order. It's not enough for it to be what they call an oral pronouncement from the bench. An oral pronouncement from the bench is something that the judge stated, but if he didn't put it into his written order, it is presumed that he changed his mind, even if he didn't actually change his mind. So again, I'm emphasizing proposed orders. You need to understand what it is. It's an order that the attorney has proposed should be signed by the judge. It's not a time for you to agree about the issues. It's a time for you to agree that the language in the proposed order is what the judge said needs to be in the proposed order, and nothing more, nothing less. And if that's not what's going on, then you need to look into your court rules and figure out how to challenge a proposed order. There were a few other times that I challenged a proposed order, but after that first instance, the attorney really didn't argue with me. She just went ahead and changed the language. I'm not sure what happened. I feel like maybe she got in trouble, but I never found out. The judge never told me anything about it. But just please take this seriously. You went to court and you spent all that time and money and you stressed out, and then to win your case and have the proposed order omit the language that you fought so hard for is just the worst injustice of all. Because it's like you won your case and then they're playing this little game with this little process right at the end, and it happens. So yeah, that's going to be the end of this video, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time.